Picture this. You finally sit down at the end of the day. Maybe it is the couch, maybe it is your bed, maybe it is a cafe with a friend on the weekend. Your body is technically in a rest position, but your mind did not get the memo. In the background, there is this constant low hum. I did not do enough today. I should be answering messages. I should be studying. I should be working on that project. I do not deserve to relax yet. You reach for your phone to switch off, but you are not really switching off. You are half scrolling, half thinking about the things you have not done. Every few minutes, a mental pop-up appears. You could be productive right now, and without noticing, you end up in the worst of both worlds. You are not really resting, but you are also not really working. Time passes, but you do not feel recharged, and you do not feel fulfilled. You just feel guilty. Then, to make it worse, you beat yourself up for that too. You think, other people work harder. Other people deserve breaks more than I do. I am wasting my life. If that feels painfully familiar, I want you to hear this clearly. The problem is not that you are lazy. The problem is that your brain has lost the difference between off and on. It thinks that being a good person means being mentally available to work all the time. What if the real upgrade you need is not more time management, but a tiny, deliberate shutoff that tells your brain, this day is closed, you are allowed to be off now? Stay with me, because in this video we are going to build something I call the Shutoff Window, a 2-minute ritual that turns vague, guilty rest into clean, earned rest that your nervous system actually believes. Let us stay a little longer in that uncomfortable place, because until you see the pattern clearly, every solution will just look like try harder. Think about the last time you tried to rest. Maybe you turned on a show. At first you thought, finally, I can relax. But 10 minutes in, you realized you had not followed anything that was happening on the screen because your inner monologue was louder. You did not finish that email. You still owe that person a reply. You are behind on your reading. You said you would start that habit today, and you did not. Your chest feels a little tight. You tell yourself, okay, I will just check my email quickly so I can relax afterwards. You open it, see 3 new problems you did not know about before, and suddenly you are replying, saving links, making mental plans. By the time you come back to your show, you are more activated than before. Or maybe you do not open your work apps, but you spend the whole evening in a half-numb state on social media, running away from your thoughts because actually resting feels too confronting. Then you go to bed frustrated, promising that tomorrow you will be more disciplined, and the cycle repeats. Does that sound familiar? Here is the hidden cost that almost no one talks about. When you never fully switch off, your brain never fully resets. Your stress system stays slightly turned on, like a light that is never quite off. That means your sleep is shallower, your focus the next day is weaker, and your mood is more fragile. You are living in a permanent, almost tired mode. And when you are always almost tired, everything feels heavier. Starting tasks, making decisions, being kind to the people you care about, even enjoying small good moments. Over time, you start to feel like life is one long, blurry to-do list with occasional guilty breaks that do not really count. Deep down, you may start to believe a pretty cruel story about yourself. I am only valuable when I am producing. My worth is my output. I have to earn rest by suffering. That story does not come from nowhere. It comes from school systems that reward constant performance, from work cultures that celebrate overwork, from families that maybe praised you more for achievement than for simply existing. Your nervous system learned a rule. If you stop, you are falling behind. If you rest, you should feel a little bad about it. The irony is that rule is exactly what makes you less effective over time. A brain that never gets clean rest becomes less creative, less focused, less resilient. So if we want to upgrade your performance, we actually have to upgrade your ability to be off. The good news is, your brain is not the enemy. It is simply trying to protect you based on old rules. It keeps bringing up unfinished tasks because it is afraid you will forget something important. It keeps whispering you have not done enough because it thinks guilt is the only way to keep you moving. The Shutoff Window is about teaching it a different rule. We are safe to be off when today is clearly closed and tomorrow has a clear place to start. Your brain does not need all tasks finished to relax. What it needs is a sense of completion and a believable plan. That is what we are going to give it in 2 minutes. Think of your day like a room full of open tabs in your mind. Some of them are big projects, some are tiny annoyances, some are emotional conversations you have not had yet. Right now, when you try to rest, you just close the door to that room and walk away, hoping the noise will stay inside. Of course it does not. It leaks through the walls in the form of guilt and mental chatter. The Shutoff Window is like walking into that room for 2 minutes at the end of the day. Not to clean everything perfectly, but to say, these tabs will be here tomorrow, and here is where we will start. Then you switch off the light and close the door on purpose. The framework has 3 simple moves: capture, commit, and permission. Capture gives your brain a safe place to put the open loops. Commit gives it one clear starting point for tomorrow. Permission is the sentence plus body signal that tells your nervous system the work mode is off. Let me walk you through each part with real-life details so you can actually feel how this would work in your day. First, capture. This part takes about a minute. It can happen on paper, in a notes app, or anywhere you can easily reach. The rule is, it happens before you start your rest, not in the middle of it. Imagine it is the end of the workday or the moment before you want to switch into evening mode. Instead of jumping straight into your phone or into a show, you pause and open your capture place. Then you ask your brain one simple question. What are you still trying to hold on to from today? You do not need to list everything you did not do. You just invite the loudest loops to come out. Maybe you write, finish slide deck, reply to Maria, buy shampoo, book dentist, plan weekend with friends, continue chapter 3. You write them quickly without organizing, like emptying your pockets at the end of the day. The point is not to build a perfect system. The point is to give your brain a visual, concrete proof that the things it is worried about are stored somewhere outside your head. From a neuroscience perspective, this simple act reduces the need for your mind to rehearse them over and over while you are trying to rest. It thinks, okay, noted, I do not have to keep shouting. Second, commit. This is where most people go wrong. They either try to plan the entire next day in detail, which becomes a new form of stress, or they plan nothing and hope their future self will magically know what to do. The shutoff window asks something much smaller and much more powerful. You look at your capture list and you choose just one clear starting task for tomorrow. Not the biggest, most important task in your whole life. Just the next thing you are willing to begin with. You write it as a short sentence that answers 2 questions: what and when. For example, tomorrow at 9 o'clock, I start by outlining the first 3 slides. Or, tomorrow after lunch, I start by replying to Maria. Or, tomorrow at 11 o'clock, I start by reading 2 pages of chapter 3. It needs to be small enough that you can imagine yourself actually doing it, even if tomorrow is not a magical day of perfect motivation. This is not about solving everything. It is about giving your brain a hook, a first foothold on the wall. Why does this matter? Because a lot of your rest guilt comes from a vague sense of I should be doing something without a clear what. When you choose a specific starting point, your brain receives a different message. There is a plan. It is written down. We know where we pick up. It can stop scanning for what else and rest into not now. Third, permission. This is where you actually flip your internal switch from on to off. And yes, this sounds almost too simple, but your nervous system responds to ritual and language much more than you think. After capture and commit, you take a breath and say a short sentence out loud, or at least silently but clearly in your mind. Something like, this day is closed, I have parked what matters. Work is done for now. Or, I know where I start tomorrow. Now I'm off duty. Or even, I have done enough for today. Now this time is for rest. While you say it, you add one small, consistent body cue. For example, you might close your notebook with both hands, or you might physically turn your chair away from your desk, or you might place your phone screen down in a specific place. These little physical gestures become a signal your nervous system can learn, like how certain smells or songs trigger memories. Over time, your body will start to associate that combination of words and gesture with the feeling of being allowed to relax. You are training your brain like you would train a muscle. This is what off feels like. Let us drop this into a concrete evening. Imagine it is 8:30 p.m. You have had a long day. Part of you wants to just collapse into distraction, but another part is tired of ending the day feeling half guilty, half numb. Tonight, you decide to try the shutoff window. You sit at the table or on your bed with your phone's notes app open. Capture. For 60 seconds, you type whatever your brain is still carrying. Send budget spreadsheet. Text Sam about Saturday. Research new running shoes. Finish online course module. Clean up email. You do not judge the list. You do not try to solve it. You just get it out. Then commit. You scan the list and pick one realistic starting task for tomorrow. You write, tomorrow at 9:30, I start by sending the budget spreadsheet. You can see yourself doing that. You might even add a tiny note. No other tabs until it is sent. Finally, permission. You take a slow exhale, close the notes app and say, okay, today is officially closed. Tomorrow me knows where to start. Now I am off. You place your phone face down in a specific spot and stand up, leaving that spot behind. Then you go to the couch or to your book or to your friend, knowing that you have done your little ceremony. Here's the key. At first, you might not feel a dramatic wave of relief. The guilt voice might still whisper, "You could do more, you are behind, that is normal." The shutoff window does not erase your entire history of overwork or self-criticism in one night. What it does is give you a different response to that voice. Instead of arguing with it or obeying it, you can say internally, "We have parked the important things. We know when we start. Right now is off time." And you have physical proof, the list, the written starting task, the closed notebook. Your brain may still check the door to that room a few times, but it will find it closed with a sign that says, "We reopen at 9:30. Over days and weeks, as you repeat this ritual, something shifts. The guilt voice does not disappear, it just loses its authority. It becomes background noise instead of your boss. You might be wondering, what if my work is genuinely urgent and unpredictable? What if I have kids, or a job where emergencies happen, or people who need me? Does this still work then? The point of the shutoff window is not to create a rigid wall between you and life. Emergencies still happen. People still call. But there is a world of difference between being occasionally interrupted from clean rest and never giving yourself permission for clean rest at all. Even on the busiest days, there is likely a 2-minute slice somewhere between doing and scrolling that you can claim. If your schedule is chaotic, your commit step might be softer. Tomorrow at the first free 20 minutes, I start by replying to Maria. The power is not in picking the perfect time. It is in telling your brain there is a container for this. The rest of this evening is not that container. Now I want you to zoom out and imagine your life not as individual days, but as a long timeline. On the old timeline, evenings and weekends blur together in a fog of half rest, half work, where you are always on call in your own mind. You carry a constant sense of not enoughness, which slowly drains your joy, creativity, and relationships. On the new timeline, there is a tiny repeating pattern. 2 minutes where you capture, commit, and give yourself permission. The tasks do not magically vanish. You still have busy days, hard problems, unfinished projects. But your nervous system gets to experience over and over. There is a time to hold things, and there is a time to put them down. You are no longer measuring your worth by whether everything is done. You are measuring it by whether you showed up, made a plan, and then respected your own off switch. That is a completely different identity. Before you rush into the next video or back into your day, I want to invite you to make this real in the smallest possible way. Think about tonight, not some abstract perfect day in the future. Where will your shutoff window be? Maybe it is right after dinner. Maybe it is 10 minutes before bed. Choose a 2-minute slot. Decide where you will capture paper notes app sticky note. Decide what your commit will look like, one starting task with a when. And decide on your permission sentence and gesture, the words you will say, the object you will close or move. You do not need to tell anyone. You do not need to change your whole life. You just need to run this tiny sequence once. Then, when you notice guilt trying to creep into your rest tonight, remember, you are not ignoring your responsibilities. You have already walked into the room, put them in their places, and turned off the light. You are not someone who escapes their life. You are someone who closes their day on purpose. If this shifted even a little how you see your lazy evenings or your guilty breaks, share it with someone who is always on but never truly resting. And if you want more small science-backed switches like this that help you live from a calmer, more intentional place, you are always welcome back here. For now, your only job is simple. Choose one shutoff window today and let yourself feel what clean rest actually tastes like.